right, welcome into episode 16 of Hockey Talk with
Angel
and the Ice Devil, live here from our new home, away from home, the Ice Den Chandler.
Absolutely,
You can see it behind us. The ice is groomed and ready to go for another group of guys and gals as we get set for another night of hockey, right?
Yep.
Isn't every night hockey night?
Every night's hockey night.
That hockey night in Canada thing?
Yeah.
It's always hockey night in Arizona.
Right.
Got a great show for you tonight. We're going to get 3 segments with Scottsdale native
Zach LaRaza.
Bringing Zach in. If you don't know Zach, you should know Zach. Let's put it that way. He's an Arizona icon, I think. He's had a chance to play PF Chang's.
Yes.
He had a chance to play U.S. national team. He had a chance to play a 4-year career at the University of Denver. Now he's back. He's playing in the AHL and hopefully in the NHL right here with our own Roadrunners and Coyotes. So.
And he's an amazing young man.
Awesome. And to come in and take the time here in the off season, I always appreciate those players that will take it's their own time, you know. And they come in and visit with us. So we're looking forward to having Zach here for 3 segments. I also have a couple of surprises for you. We're getting close to the start of the season.
Yeah.
I have in front of me the September feature game schedule coming up. So all of you fans up in UNLV and Las Vegas, first you got to come down here because we have September 15th and the 16th. We're going to have UNLV right here against the ASU ACHA D1 team.
Yep.
A beautiful Oceanside arena.
Yep.
So if you come into Oceanside, bring your parka.
Yeah.
It's cold.
It's cold.
The second weekend, or actually the third weekend in September, but our second weekend of feature games, we're going to go open up the new City National Arena. Is that what we're calling it up there?
I think it's City National, isn't it? I thought that's what I saw.
Beautiful. Let's just call it the beautiful
Amazing.
arena in Las Vegas. They're going to open up with the University of Colorado taking on UNLV. So Las Vegas folks, you get UNLV back-to-back weekends. So look forward to seeing everybody out there on that. We're going to close out the month of September with the unofficial, official exhibition game of NCAA hockey in the state.
In the state.
How's that?
There you
I'm
go.
going to just throw it out there. It's NAIT. It's a Canadian university, I believe, out of Edmonton, coming down here to play an exhibition against ASU. So you get a chance to see them and see what they do before they open up the regular season for them, the NCAA college season, the following weekend. Once we hit October, all bets are off. We're going to be everywhere.
Everywhere.
So we look forward to that. So tune in for the feature games. They're going to be great. You're going to love them. We're going to get some player interviews, coaches interviews, highlights of the game. Everything's going to be rolling well. Also want to throw out the fact that we are starting our Kickstarter program. So hopefully we're going to be able to back the bus and get ourselves on the road and get ourselves a little more comfortable when we shoot shows and be able to take a lot better and be a lot more efficient with our shows. So watch for the Kickstarter program. Watch for the GoFundMe program. Get yourself a T-shirt that says "Back the Bus" or "Get Backed Over by the Bus."
Yeah, there you go. Either one.
So we'll be right back with our first segment with Scottsdale, Arizona native
Zach LaRaza.
We'll be right back.
The Ice Den Scottsdale has always been the coolest place in the desert. Now with the addition of the Ice Den Chandler, our 2 locations hosting 5 sheets of ice make the Ice Den your home for youth, travel, and adult hockey leagues. Our nationally recognized Learn to Skate programs offer world-class instruction for skaters of all ages. Our pro shop features equipment and apparel with the top hockey and figure skating brands. 18 Degrees Express with the Chili Bean Cafe make the Ice Den the perfect place to host your next birthday party or special event. Visit us online at coyotesice.com.
All right, and we're back for our first segment tonight of episode 16 of Hockey Talk with
Angel.
And the Ice Devil. And if you are anywhere in the area of Arizona ever and have seen a hockey rink, you've seen this guy. He's been around for a long time, one of our natives. Zach LaRaza is back with us today. And Zach, you and I have talked many times on the social media. So we've chatted a little bit, but this is the first time we've had a chance to get you on the show, so welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
And for those of you that don't know, you're property of the Coyotes / Roadrunners right now, aren't you?
Officially now, yeah. It's exciting to be back and playing in Arizona again.
So tell me a little bit about the transition and how you got back to that, and then we'll jump in a little bit about your growing up in Scottsdale, but how did you become a Roadrunner and a Coyote?
So over the past couple of my pro seasons and my last year at Denver, I had a few injuries that kind of plagued me, and then my last year at Denver we weren't really far, and the Coyotes just weren't able to sign me, which was unfortunate. I went on and I played in Manchester. I signed in the East Coast League in Manchester, played there for a little bit, and then I had some good AHL experience my first year pro, and then last year I signed with San Diego and ended up playing pretty well with them the games I was there, and got hurt as well, but played against Tucson a couple times and did really well during the games I was in. So the guys that came in this year and are the management and coaches of Tucson, I think they like me. From what I've heard, they like me. So I'm excited to play there and kind of develop into a better and bigger player this year.
So let's talk a little bit about growing up in Arizona, and let's go way back. Let's go back to when we got that first pair of skates, and what got your love for the game of hockey going.
So my dad's from Detroit and my mom's from Nebraska. So
Oh,
my
boy.
mom grew up loving sports in Nebraska. Her brother played college football for Nebraska. She was always huge into it. My
Right.
dad grew up playing hockey in Detroit. So of course he wanted to get me in skates right away. And as soon as I don't remember, but I was 3 or 4, and my dad said as soon as I got skates on, I was in love with it, and that's all I wanted to do.
That's all she wrote, huh?
Yeah, that's all she wrote. That was it. But I love playing other sports, baseball, football, basketball. I played everything you could until I think it was my sophomore year in high school. I finally had to give everything else up and focus on hockey.
So were you born and raised in Scottsdale? Or you
Born
moved
at the hospital on Shea in Scottsdale, pretty much. Raised here my whole life, and first time I moved away was to play for the U.S. national team when I was 16.
Oh, go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry,
Go
no.
ahead.
So you started hockey when hockey wasn't even big here in
Yeah,
Arizona.
there was. I mean, it was hard to find a team around here. The ice den wasn't built yet, so we were having to drive down to what's the one in downtown Phoenix?
Arcadia?
Yeah, no. There's a big
Oh, the old
Coliseum
one.
or something like
Yeah,
It's
that.
not even open
Yeah,
anymore.
Yeah, you can't even skate there
I can't
anymore.
even
So
think
that's
of
where I
it.
had to go to play hockey, and now seeing all these rinks is crazy. You have so many rinks at your disposal to go to. If you can't find ice there, go here or there. So it's good to see the development here, and I'm sure it's just on its way up as well.
So not only have the rinks exploded, but so have the different programs. I mean, did you ever think back then that you were going to see an NCAA program here at ASU?
Even when I was in college, I was like, "There's no chance." But it's so cool for guys that grow up here now too, and they see ASU and like, why wouldn't I stay here? I get to play against the best players in the country at the college hockey level. Why
Right.
wouldn't I just drive down the street and go to school there? So it's cool to see that now.
So you see these things happening. You see the Coyotes come on board, and they're here obviously when you're growing up. So
yeah, they
did you
moved
have-
here when I was, I think, 3 years old, 3 or
Okay.
4. So what was it, 96 they moved here? So yeah, I was
Right.
3 years old. And actually, if you go into the ice den, there's pictures of the ice den being built, and my mom and my dad were both there with the shovel.
Oh, is that right?
When they broke ground. So yeah,
Little
it's pretty
history
cool.
there,
Yeah,
huh?
a little history for you. So yeah, it's pretty cool to still be growing up and still be playing in this area is awesome.
So you go through the youth programs. You get a chance to play on some U.S. national teams,
I
which
did.
is really exciting, and I
It
bet
was awesome.
unusual for an Arizona boy
Yeah.
to be there, right?
Yeah, so growing up here, I played pretty much everywhere you can play. I started out, like I said, down in Phoenix, and then I played at the Ice Den for house hockey for a little bit. And then when I started playing travel, my first year of travel was at Oceanside from
Right.
Katie McGovern's dad.
Yeah.
He coached me, and then I went to, where did I go? Peoria for a year, and then DYHA for like 3-4 more years, and then I went up to the Ice Den and played when there was PF Chang's. I don't know if you remember
Yeah,
that.
I do
It was
remember that.
maybe a 5 or 6 year stint. And that was my first time playing AAA hockey was when I was 14 years old. I played U16, and then 15 I played U18, and then I went to the U.S. program.
So when you move away to the U.S. program, what's that like? What's the first
tough,
year like when
you
you
know?
move away like that?
No, I mean, some people get to experience it when you go to college for the first time, or some people even later in life if you stay close to home. But for me, it was 16 years old moving away, and it was a little bit of a transition period. So my parents, they've kind of been a little bit more lenient on me growing up, and I was able to kind of be my own person and be more independent. And then when you get to the U.S. program, there's people on you every day making sure they know where you are at all times, what you're eating, what you're working out and stuff. So it's a little bit different, but I enjoyed my experience and can't say a bad word about that place. I loved it.
So let's talk a little bit about that program and some of the guys you played with there. Who was on your roster?
So some of the big time names on my roster were
name droppers coming up.
like Connor Murphy, who most
Right.
of you guys are probably
Yep.
familiar with. He
Absolutely.
was still to this day one of my good friends. I texted him right when he got traded, and he was kind of in shock, and so was I. But he's happy now with where he is, and he's in Chicago in a winning franchise that contends for the Stanley Cup every year. So he was one of the bigger names. But then we had guys like JT Miller,
Right.
John Gibson, and Jake McCabe, and there's a few other NHL guys that have gotten some time. So we had a pretty good team and some good guys that I got to develop with there.
So for those that don't know, when you go play for the U.S. national team, what's that schedule like? You guys play all over. I mean, it's hockey
crazy.
100% of the time, isn't it?
It's crazy. So you go to school in the morning and you leave your house at 6:30 and don't get home till about 5 or 6 every night. So go to school. You're a regular high school student. Go to school as soon as you leave high school. go right to the class, or you go right to pretty much a classroom at our rink. You watch film, you take notes on what you're doing for the day and stuff. And you go work out, you go skate, and then after workout, you usually have a video set, or after you skate, you usually have a video session. So it's like a 3.5, 4 hour period. You're sitting at the rink all day, and it's just nonstop information, skating drills, stick handling drills. So
But that's made you a better person.
it has.
Don't you think?
I
mean,
can't say a bad word. Looking like while you're in the time, you're like, wow, this is so much. I
Yeah.
can't believe I'm doing this. I have to do it again today. But when you're done, you leave that place, you're like, wow, I'm a way better player than I was when I got there. So
I'm probably a better person.
way
you know.
better person. They have the rules in place. You're pretty strict, so you follow the rules, and you kind of learn that for your life. Like, follow the rules, you're gonna have no problem.
good to go.
with anything. You're good to go. So I had a great time. Exactly. And I had great billet parents there too. The people I lived with taught me so much and really, really kept me strict and stayed me on course. So I had a great time with them and can't complain about anything that I had there. Yeah.
Let's step back a step and let's go over the process of how you get on that team, because everybody wants to play for the U.S. national team at some point, right?
Yeah, so I mean, growing up in Arizona, I didn't know anything about
Right.
college hockey or U.S. program or USHL.
Right.
So when my dad and I kind of sat down, and my dad's like, so I've been getting attention. You're a good hockey player. And I was like, oh, really? I'm just playing. I'm having fun doing this, I guess. So we kind of sit down and we talk to some of the older parents whose kids are starting to get recruited and stuff. And we kind of got my foot in the door in those the summer, what are they, the U.S. development camps in the summer, all those. So that was the first time I was really seen by anybody. And from there, I had scouts call me. I was drafted by Prince George, and they kind of followed me for a few years and finally drafted me. And then the U.S. program started calling, and that was unbelievable. The best moment of my
Golden
life.
ticket.
The best moment of my life. I'll never forget. I was working out at a Mountainside Fitness with my dad, and I get the call from Ryan Wrzymierski, who was the head scout.
Right.
He said, "Zach, we'd love to sign you to this team. You're an awesome player, and we hear you're an awesome person, so we want to have you out." It was I wasn't looking back there. I was going as soon as I could. So I had a great time and great experience through the whole process. Yeah.
So the obvious question is, you arrive, right? And
Yeah.
everybody looks at where you're from and they go like, Scottsdale,
Yeah.
Arizona, how'd this happen, right?
You look down the roster and it's New York, Michigan,
He's the only one
Ohio,
with a tan.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, exactly. I had this long wavy hair flipped up, like
Flu.
nobody understand. And I'm from Scottsdale. I play hockey. Yeah, so it's a different lifestyle. And everybody that plays hockey in Arizona, we're a pretty close group, because when you go other places, you don't play with anybody from out here. So you kind of keep in contact with everybody in your age group, where they're playing and how they're doing throughout the year.
So speaking of playing with people here, obviously you told me a little bit off camera about you get a chance to play a little golf and skate with Austin Matthews. Did you think there was going to be a number one overall pick from Arizona?
Nobody thought there would be a number one pick from Arizona, but now seeing the development, I'm sure maybe not a number one pick again, but there will be high draft picks coming out of Arizona again. And he's just the start of it, and there were guys like myself and JT Barnett, and there were guys before me like Luke Moffett that are just starting this process. And as you see California starting to take off as well, I think we're in that same upswing as they were. So I'm excited to see where it's going.
So do you have to get out there and maybe stick 5-iron in him every now and then to keep him in line, or what?
No, he runs into his own trouble on the course. I don't have to take care of him. His 5-iron.
You don't have to help him out.
No, he runs into his own trouble there.
So what's it like now that you guys are both back here, you're spending the summers? Do you fit right back in? It's just like, I'm in Scottsdale, or you still get the autograph seekers and the people that recognize you?
I mean,
any of that stuff happen out
Austin,
here?
About 5 years ago, that was, or maybe right when I was drafted, that was me at the ice end getting asking for autographs and stuff. But now when Austin's around you, you just can walk by. Nobody goes to you. They just stare at
Is that who?
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Letting him. It takes him 20 minutes to leave the ice then every time. So
Sure.
It's crazy, but yeah, it's awesome.
All right, well, what we're going to do is take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about your college career, which was very successful with a great program.
Yeah,
so we'll be right back with another segment of Hockey Talk with Angel and the Ice Devil right now.
Crime can happen to anyone at any time. Be a role model for the next generation. Become empowered. This is true life insurance.
All right, we're back with our second segment tonight on Hockey Talk with
Angel.
and the Ice Devil, and our special guest of the evening, Zach LaRaza, is back with us again. Did I get it close? Am I getting close?
That was perfect. That was perfect. Right on the head.
Sometimes if I have to, I just say it quick.
There you go. That's fine. Sounds the same.
So anyway, we talked a little bit about you growing up in Scottsdale and all that good stuff. Then you advanced on from the national program and got yourself a college scholarship, which is everybody's dream, right? If you can play hockey and get your education at the same time.
Exactly.
So you selected the University of Denver. Tell me what that process was like. Did you have other options? Did you target them right away?
I did. I mean, but as soon as Denver called, it was game over. I knew I wanted to go there. But I did. I talked to a few other schools, and playing in Ann Arbor for 2 years, I got to tour the University of Michigan campus, and I got to go to a couple football games there, and that almost persuaded me to go there.
It's a pretty big deal.
That was a different experience, so that was awesome. But as soon as Denver called, I knew that was my home for 4 years. I knew I wanted to go there, and I think they called me 1 week, and then the next week I was sitting on my bed with one of my buddies that I played on the team with at the U.S. program, and said, "I'm going to go commit right now." And just walked downstairs, called him, and said, "Hey George, I think I want to play for you guys." And he was happy, and Coach Steve Miller was happy as well, and I was probably happier than both of them. So it was a great experience, the whole committing process and getting recruited. It was really cool, and all these different schools calling you. And like Minnesota called me and said, "Hey, let's set up a time once a week. I want to talk to you and see how you're doing and your development." So it was cool to have all these different programs kind of reach out to you and see how they recruit players. And if in the future, if I want to be a college coach or an assistant coach or something, I kind of see how the recruiting process happens.
Sure.
So it was a good experience and a good learning experience as well.
So for those that don't know, tell us the year that you went. Your freshman year was when?
What?
20,
20, what year? Yeah, no, 2011, 2012.
Okay.
So 4 years, because I graduated in 2015, so it would have been 11.
Okay.
I would have gone in 11.
2011. So if that phone call had been made by Coach Bowers at the time for ASU, would it have swung you, or is it still
would
going
have
to be
been
Denver?
hard. It would have been hard to say no to that, but still committing to Denver, and they had at the time. Well, now again, they have the most national titles in history of NCAA hockey. So it's if you get a call from a college like that, it's kind of hard to say no.
Absolutely.
But now that ASU has a Division I hockey team, I don't know what I would have done. I can't say one or the other, but it'd be tough to say no.
I had to put you on the spot on that, being a hometown guy.
I feel like I answered it decent.
So tell me a little bit about, a lot of people wonder what the college hockey programs are like, but playing in the NCHC and playing for a program like Denver that's always seems to peak at when? Tournament time, right? When you guys get to that conference tournament, you guys are ready, aren't you?
So my first 2 years we played in the WCHA, which is no longer, or it does still exist with just different teams in it, but that was crazy, the tournament there, the Final Five in Minneapolis every year was awesome. But now my junior year we switched to the NCHC, and it was that much harder. There were 3-4 better teams coming in, and every game on the schedule you're looking at like, that's a tough game. You look at it, that's a tough game too. The only easy games we looked at were CC, but I can say that now. I can say that now, not at the time. I can say that now looking. But it was a fun, awesome conference to play in. But like you said, going into the tournament, our conference tournament every year, we were like, this is it. We're going to gear up. We want to win a championship. And fortunate enough, my junior year, we got to win our conference championship. And because we won that, we got to go into the NCAA tournament, which if we didn't win that tournament, we wouldn't have made it. So when the pressure was on, I always felt like our team played the best in that program still. As you saw last year winning the national championship, when the program is at its best is when the pressure's on.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about, you had the coaching change in there with George Gwizdecki being there first, and then the switch over. So what was that like as a player?
So it was a little bit different. You know, I'd never gone through that in my life where a coach leaves halfway through your time in a program or halfway through the year or something like that. So we were all, it's actually weird, it was April 1st, so April Fool's Day is when it happened. And we all got an email, like, be advised, Coach Gwizdecki will no longer be your coach next year. We're searching for another coach. And we all kind of look at each other and we're like, it's April 1st. Who has all of our emails that will be sending this? And we're like, this has got to be a joke. And then next thing you know, we're all getting calls like, hey, come meet at the rink where we got to have a team meeting and stuff. So it was sad to see him go, what was it, 20 or 19 years or something like that. He'd been coaching there. So he'd done everything he could. He'd won national championships. He'd won back-to-back. And he just brought that program up when they were struggling a little bit. So it was awesome to have him as a coach. And then rolling into the Montgomery area, we struggled a little bit our first year. We were awesome our senior year, and now you can see how he's taken the program to the next step that George built. So it's awesome to see that coaching change, and hopefully it just continues to skyrocket from there.
So the players that they get at Denver now, there's some international flavor there,
Yeah.
isn't there? Some
Yeah.
really talented. I mean, if you want to look at highlight reels of great goals, just search Denver University, right?
There were some good ones last year. That Borgstrom kid out of I think it was Finland. He's from is awesome. And even when I was there, we had one of my best friends was the goalie Jussi Olkinuora from Finland. He was
Right.
awesome. He went on to play pro for a little bit. Now he's back in Finland playing pro. So I don't know why they recruit a lot of foreign guys, but there's always at least a few on the team, and it's worked out in the favor of the school. So you can't complain there.
You were talking earlier a little bit about how difficult it was to be on the U.S. national team, and school and work
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Comparatively, being in college and then doing that, was it more of a regimented program, or how does that?
It was very similar because you have that schedule. So I got used to it in high school with the U.S. program, and then that kind of just carried over to college. I was used to having that schedule where you go to practice, school, practice, and then do all your homework at night and stuff. So it was the same pretty much schedule as you had at the U.S. program, but it was tough to adjust. Your freshman year is definitely the toughest. Coming in, I'm sure everybody that's gone to college says freshman year is tough, just adjusting to the lifestyle, and you're finally your own person.
Right.
You make your own rules, and so.
But then you're really not when you.
Exactly. If you're
When
an
the coach
athlete in
gets a hold
college,
of
you're
you.
really not making your own. You think you can, and then the next thing you know, you're sitting out a few games if you
Yeah.
No, it was great, and having Montgomery and Gwozdecki be there as a coach and a role model for you, it was awesome, and develop as a player and a person. So it was awesome.
So I know you don't want to take credit for this, but you kind of brought that team along, right? That won the national championship. You brought those guys to that point, right?
I did, yeah. I told all the guys that are there now to go to school there. And, yeah,
You put the team together and everything,
exactly,
right?
yeah. I assembled it. I was sending Monty the lines every weekend. So yeah, it was all me. No, but definitely, I think our class, my freshman class when we came in, we were huge for the school. We were all from different areas of the country and the world, and we kind of all came together, and we were very close, and we did a lot in our 4 years there and brought the program to the next step. And now you can see classes below us are doing the same thing, where they're close and they're bringing the program with them, and it's not just about themselves. They could care less if they sign a contract or get drafted. They want to win a national championship, and that's kind of what Denver has brought right now. Is they want each other to succeed. They don't care if one guy is better than everybody else. They want the whole team to be good. So it's good to see that now.
Let's talk about the game day experience at Magnus when you guys are out in the arena. That place rocks, doesn't it?
It does.
If you haven't been to a college hockey game, that's the epitome of where
That
you
place
should
is
be.
pretty fun. You know what? My first couple of years, even my first year, it was starting to die down a little bit, and then Gwozdecki started doing a lot of stuff in the community and on campus where students really started to recognize how special our program was and how special it was to have a team like that on the ice in front of you. So by my senior year, games were packed, the student section was packed, and when you score a goal there and you go jump in front of the student section, it's an awesome feeling. And I'm sure anybody that's played college hockey at a big time school could say the same thing. It's just nothing like it. I've scored a goal in the East Coast and the AHL and junior hockey, but nothing beats it like
Nothing like
scoring a goal
college.
at Denver University in front of the home crowd. It's pretty cool.
So, two-part question. What do you think about a program at ASU they get their arena eventually on campus? What's it going to take to get that same kind of environment here? And do you think it's possible?
Well, you see how many kids are at the school. If you got to win. If you're winning, they'll come watch you. But
Yep.
you got to build that winning mentality first, and you got to start putting up W's on the scores every night. So if you guys start doing that, and the team starts doing that, it'll go nothing but up from there, and more people start to fill into a stadium that's built.
So we'll jump now from your college days. You decided to turn pro, right?
Yep.
You finished up your 4 years. You have a chance to play in the AHL. Bounced around a little bit that 1 year, right?
I
Played with a few
did,
different
yeah.
teams.
So I signed with Manchester in the East Coast League, and then my agent and I kind of decided that was the right move. I wasn't getting great deals in the AHL, and they were going to be a couple two-ways, and I wasn't really a fan of that. So I signed in the East Coast League in Manchester, and I ended up getting brought up 5 times throughout the year to 3 different teams, and I spent like 115 days in hotel rooms that year and never unpacked my bags once, and it was a mess trying to find out where the laundry room is in the hotel and stuff. So it was an awesome experience. I don't think I'd ever want to do that again, going up
Right.
and down, over, sideways, back on. So it was crazy, but it was a great learning experience, and I became a way better player having 4-5 different coaches that year coaching me different times. So it was a really good experience, and I know because of that I'm a better player today.
So then you get down to the opportunity to play for San Diego, which brings you a little bit closer to home yet.
It does.
Right?
It does,
Had
yeah.
a chance to play for them last year, had a chance to come to Tucson and play. What were your thoughts, first of all, when Tucson got the franchise and you're going like, hey, I might be playing a home game in my
Yeah,
home
it
state?
was pretty cool. So I didn't know I was going to sign with San Diego, and they announced the Tucson team. So I was like, that'd be awesome if Tucson would come along and offer me and stuff. And I might have had a smaller offer from them, but I had played for San Diego the year before, and I knew the coaching staff and I knew the general manager, so I was more comfortable going back there with people who would know the kind of player I am. So I went back there and ended up getting to play in Tucson a couple games, and then Tucson came up to San Diego a couple times and played against them. And I did pretty well in the games. I think I had a couple points against them, so I think
That bodes well for the future,
yeah,
maybe.
that was big, and I think we open against San Diego this year, a home
Right.
opener. So
I think so.
Should be a fun game seeing all the guys I played with last year.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be more back for another segment with Zach, and we'll talk a little bit about the future. And Coyotes fans, Roadrunner fans, you'll be wanting to get a jersey here pretty soon. All right, we're back for our third and final segment with Zach LaRaza. Back here with the Hockey Talk with
Angel.
and the Ice Devil. We're all here on board, and we're waiting to get rolling here into another hockey season. So let's talk about your future. A month ago, right?
Yep,
Roughly?
about a month ago, yeah.
You got the good news, had the opportunity to
did.
sign with the hometown team. And
Did, yeah.
what's that contract like? Are you set with the Roadrunners? Is it one way,
It
two
is.
way?
It's a one-way with the Roadrunners, and I know I got to play well, get my position in the lineup, and kind of build my way up, and hopefully good things start to happen, and everything kind of falls into place. So.
Well, one thing with the Coyotes, I know you've seen from last year, a lot of those guys that played in Tucson got their opportunity with the Coyotes.
They did, yeah, they did.
And they made their marks. I mean,
Yeah,
Brendan
exactly.
Perlini and guys like that.
Yeah,
so,
so-
what's it been like this summer getting a chance to know some of those guys and skate with them? And
Yeah, so we
how
all
do you
work
think you
out.
fit?
We all work out at Exos up in Cave Creek, which is an awesome facility, by the way. But we all work out up there, and a couple new guys like Clayton Keller are there working out and skating at the ice then, and it's been awesome getting to know the guys and see like their dedication to the game and how they've developed. And I know Christian Fisher a little bit from
Right.
skating here last year. A lot of them lived in here in the summer, so I skated with them last summer as well, and kind of seeing how they developed over a year and how they liked Tucson and they all enjoyed their time there and haven't said anything bad about it. So I'm excited. Hopefully I don't have to play with any of them. They're all up with the Coyotes, but I know there'll be a few there, and I'm excited to play with them and kind of grow with them and become better people and players with them as well.
So those that don't know your game, tell us a little bit about your game, your style. Left wing, right?
Left wing, yeah, I play left wing and a little bit of center. I played last year, and I'm a bigger guy. I like to hit a little bit, and I know I haven't played a lot of first and second line in my pro career so far, but I've gotten a chance to a few times, and I've always put up points when I have. So I like to hit, like I said, and get in the corners and protect the puck, and I like being around the net, tipping pucks in, and catching all the rebounds around the net. That's probably my favorite part of playing the game. So
Well, after 1 year in Tucson, I can tell you that you're going to be a fan favorite if you do that.
I like it.
Yeah.
I
They,
like
they
it.
love the contact
They
down
love
there.
it.
I know they do.
So you told us you had a little chance to play there last year, but
Yeah.
tell us what your experience was like in the Tucson arena itself. What did you think of the fans? What did you think of the building, the lighting, the ice surface, all that good
It
stuff?
was awesome. The ice was great. Usually you play on the southwest side of the country, and you're like, "Oh, this ice sucks again."
Right.
This ice sucks again. But it was top notch. The fans were loud whenever we played there, and I think one of the nights they have like a $2 beer special or something like that. I think one of the nights we played there, they had that, so there was an extra few college kids up in the stands. We had something similar in San Diego because we were so close to San Diego State University,
Right.
so we had the $2 beer night every once in a while, and those are always the most fun games to play in because
Packed games.
little rowdy in the crowd also, but yeah, those are fun to play in. Crowd was awesome. The rink was awesome. I haven't been in the locker room yet down there, but the guest locker room was great, and just that whole area. So I never really went to Tucson a lot growing up, but seeing how the campus has kind of developed in that downtown area is
Right.
pretty cool now. So I'm excited to move down there and start looking at places to live for the year.
So explain to the viewers a little bit about AHL hockey and and not only what it's like to play in the American Hockey League, but what are the goals? I mean, there's some guys down there that are, pretty much AHL players, right? And there's other guys like yourself that are right on that edge to make that next jump up.
Yeah.
So what's it like in the locker room? Do you guys all gel together, or how's that work?
There's the occasional guy that's there for himself, and then there's a lot of guys that are there because they love the game of hockey and they want to see other guys succeed along with themselves.
Right.
And that's kind of where I want other people to play unreal and get to the next level, and that's where I'm at right now too. Every year I've gotten a better contract and I've played in a better league. So this year I'm hoping I take that next step and I play my heart out and play as best as I can every game and hopefully get that call, whether it's this year, next year, or a few years down the road. I'm just excited to continually get better and be the best player I can be by the end of my career.
So when we talk about a one-way contract like you are on there, let's just hypothetically say there's an injury or something comes up. The Coyotes do have your rights to be able to call you up, or are you able to go anywhere you want?
So I could go. I mean, they have to sign you to a contract. So right now I'm only with the Tucson Roadrunners, and I'd have to sign a contract with the Coyotes to go play there, with any other team to go play with them. But I've seen it happen before. I don't know if you guys watched the playoffs this year, but Freddie Gaudreau on Nashville.
Sure did.
He started out as an East Coast player. His second year he was an AHL player, and last year was his third year in the league. And he stayed all year in the AHL, and during the playoffs he got that call up, signed an NHL contract, and scored like 4 or 5 goals in the Stanley Cup Finals. So somebody like that is just a great example for players like myself and players coming up that, you start in the East Coast League, I'm never going to make it. You can make it. You just got to play as hard as you can, and when the pieces start falling in place, you got to take advantage of your opportunities. So.
And the NHL season is a rigorous one. Obviously, it's a lot like the AHL season. So at any time you can be presented with an opportunity.
Yeah, so I mean the AHL is a little bit different with the schedule. Most of your games are played on the weekends and the occasional weekday game, whereas the NHL is any day of the week, any time of the day. So it's a little bit different, but you kind of know when the games are, especially a week leading up to the game. You know who you're playing against and how to prepare for them and what you're up against. So a little bit different, but still it's a pretty rigorous schedule, traveling and stuff.
So speaking of travel, what's that like now that there's a lot more teams in the West Coast?
Yeah.
It's more of a bus league almost, isn't it?
It is. I mean, in San Diego last year, we were busing up to San Jose, which was 9 hours, 8.5, something like that. And I'm sure it's the same here from Tucson. I don't know if they bus or fly, but most of your games are bus too. And I think our closest opponent is going to be San Diego, which is like 5.5, 6 hours on bus. So it's a lot of travel, but when you get there, it's nice. And especially playing on the West, you're in good weather pretty much the whole year.
Yeah, right.
So you're not busting through snowstorms all year, which is not fun my first year in Manchester.
I was just going to ask you that. Did you have any experiences you want to talk
I was
about
gonna
or
say
don't
there's
want to
probably
talk
a lot of
about?
bus
I don't know.
experiences in your past.
Yeah, after playing the last couple of years on the West Coast, it's going to be hard if I ever sign a contract back on the East to go back there. But yeah, I've been
Hear
pretty
that,
blessed.
Penguins? He wants nothing to do with you.
If you want to offer me, I'm here for it.
So we're talking a little bit about the professional career. Now you've had a chance to experience some of the guys you talked about. You got training camp coming up, right?
Yeah.
Roadrunners, Coyotes will work together for a while anyway, right?
Yeah.
So what's that like, and what do you see out of the Coyotes roster from what you know right now? What do you think is going to be the strength of that roster?
I think the youth is definitely the strength. They're one of the youngest teams in the league, and I think one of the most skilled and hardworking teams too. Some of these kids coming up they're hungry to get their chance and become a regular player in the NHL, and I think that bodes well for them. Maybe they aren't the best team in the league this year, but in the next year or two, they're going to be unbelievable, and I think they have a great chance to do something special here coming soon.
What do you know about your coaches, both at the Coyotes ranks and now your new coach at San Diego?
Taka was here when I was growing up here, so I knew who he was as a player. I mean, he's been with Pittsburgh for a while now and just won the Stanley Cup. So and all the guys that are with the Coyotes, and I've gotten calls from him say they're excited to play for him, and excited he's the coach. So that's awesome. And then the Coyotes or the Roadrunners just got 3 brand new coaches, and I haven't heard a bad word about any of them. I know 2 of them personally, and I'm excited to kind of work with them this year and become a better player, a better person, and develop Arizona hockey as well as the Roadrunners and Coyotes organization.
So the Coyotes organization right now, and this is a question I want to ask you as a player, but they talk about youth, they talk about the older veteran teams. When does that transition happen? I mean, what's the difference between a third-year player in the NHL and a 4th year, 5th year where he becomes a veteran?
So I think technically, the technical term for a veteran in pro hockey is it's 120 or 150 games or something like that,
Okay.
you become a veteran in the eyes of the league. You become a veteran. Like, I don't know what it's something around there.
Right.
So after your third or fourth season, you're technically a veteran of the league or
Right.
a veteran of pro hockey. So I think I got another year until I'm a veteran. So still a young guy right now. working my way up.
But when does that transition? You hear the pundits talking
Yeah.
about, this team is too young, and then a year later it's like, oh, this team is too old.
I don't know.
When does that?
Some teams do. They have like a lot of, like right now the Coyotes this year, they are a very young team. They've got
Right.
a lot of young players, and I think in a year or two, when those guys get their full season or full 2 seasons in of pro hockey, then you can see that the team is no longer, they're young. They're all
Right.
experienced now. Maybe they're not veterans, but they're all experienced. And that's what you'll start to see, like the Maple Leafs in a year or two. They'll be not veterans, but they'll be all developed NHL players at that time.
So we talk about Oliver Ekman-Larsson being the mainstay now
Yeah.
with the Coyotes,
Yeah.
but Kevin's here now, right?
Yeah.
Probably gonna be playing with you. Have you a chance to meet him yet, or had a chance to
I
skate with
haven't.
him?
No, I haven't yet. No, I don't think he's here yet, but I'm excited to. Should be a good time.
So that'd be kind of neat to have two Ekman-Larsons competing on the.
I haven't seen him. Yeah, he's on in Tucson, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I'm excited to play
We might
with
have
him.
a clothing war, though. You never
Right.
know. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's true. They might. Yeah, but no, I'm excited to play with him and see if he can develop into a similar player his brother is. Yeah.
Well, Zach, it's been awesome. I'm glad you were
Yeah.
able to stick around for 3 segments. We're looking forward to seeing you down in Tucson, and I'm really hoping I'm going to see you up in Coyote Land.
I'm
So
hoping too. That's the goal.
keep it rolling through the summer, and get stronger, get better, and go Roadrunners,
Will
go
do.
Coyotes.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me, guys. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right, we'll be right back to wrap up another segment with Hockey Talk with Angel and the Ice Devil in just a minute.
In today's odor elimination, sanitizing, and deodorizing market, air spaces and fabrics are treated with very aggressive, highly toxic, and often very dangerous but cheap chemical-based solutions. These chemicals have harmful residues and pollutants that can impact your health and the well-being of those around you. This is the bad news. The good news is there's something better. That something is OxyPal. OxyPal is a fast-growing company based in Phoenix, Arizona, with franchises opening across North America. OxyPal has developed a way to eliminate, not mask or disguise, all organic-based odors in any airspace or on any fabric surface with ozone, also called trioxygen. Ozone is present in the atmosphere, and it is what protects our planet, our environment, and every living thing on Earth. Through years of research and development, OxyPal has perfected a way to harness and apply this powerful solution to purify air spaces and fabric surfaces safely and effectively, eliminating all organic bacteria, viruses, mold, fungi, and allergens on the molecular level. OxyPal has designed and perfected many next-generation and evolutionary alternative products and services safe for people, pets, and our planet. The solutions offered by OxyPal are stronger, safer, non-toxic, and a great value. Visit our website and online store today at www.oxypal.com. On our website, you can make a service appointment, buy products, or learn more about us and our great franchising opportunities.
All right, and we're back to wrap up episode 16 of Hockey Talk with
Angel.
and the Ice Devil. I told you she'd be back, so there she is. What do you think? Zach Larazan today?
A lot of fun. He's an amazing young man. Gonna go far. Has gone far. And excited to see him play this season.
So Arizona produces some real hockey players and some
Yeah.
better people, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome having him in. I hope he has a chance to break in with the Coyotes and do that. I think his work ethic is second to none, and I
Yeah.
think the Roadrunner fans, at least for the start of the year, are going to absolutely love him down
Oh,
there. 'Cause
yeah.
He's,
He likes
not
to be a
only-
little physical.
He's a goal scorer and can mix it up a little bit. So really want to thank Zach for coming out. Stormy night coming in, it looks like here, but Zach's out. Look behind us. There's still nobody on the ice, but don't let that fool you.
Yeah.
The shrink will be packed before long. Getting close to the start of hockey season, so we want to go ahead and thank everybody that we've had over the summer. 16 episodes, can you believe it?
No, I can't.
Already 16 in the books, and things will be hopping with Las Vegas here. We'll be
Yeah.
up there in 2 weeks. Next week we do have Danny Roy committed to come in and talk a little GCU hockey.
Awesome.
Every time I look on social media, they keep adding more players.
More and more.
Men and women's side. So it's
Yeah.
be interesting to hear what Danny's got to say about a month away from the start of his season.
Yeah.
And then, of course, on the 15th, we'll be back up in Las Vegas at Brando's and get a chance to hopefully preview that new arena on their soft
That would be
opening.
great.
And then we'll also talk a little UNLV hockey, and we'll talk a little UNLV golf as they have their fundraiser on the 17th. So a lot of good
Perfect.
things coming up over the next couple of weeks. So for tonight, we'll wrap it up with our special guest. A special thank you to Zach. I also want to thank our sponsors. We have OxyPow, JPI,
Yep, swag.
Swag Hockey, and all of our friends here at the Ice Den channel. We couldn't do it without them.
Nope.
And our people behind the scenes, Mr. Robert Schneidmiller on the camera and Terry Strandy as our executive producer. So for Angel.
And the
Yeah.
Ice Devil.
Yes.
Which, Angel.
And the Ice Devil. I just want to see if you got it.
He's out of practice, guys. It's okay.
I've been doing this a lot by myself. All right. So we'll wrap up episode 16. So that's
That's a wrap.